Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibiers? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Happy Thursday. Hope you had a good one. It's a little late. Been a little busy today. Half the day was spent trying to figure out why in the heck anybody would want to impersonate me on Twitter and solicit donations as if they're me. I was alerted to this early this morning, and man, Twitter banded together in trying to get this account banned. And then several more popped up after that. And then we find out that I'm shadow banned, which means I can tweet as usual. I can reply, all that good stuff. But if you search for me on Twitter right now, it's not showing up. And that's a problem when people are trying to report this account because they can't tag my account as the one being impersonated. So Twitter is on it. I have been in contact with them and they are looking into it. And additionally, I have a contact who works cybercrimes, who is looking into where these came from, these accounts were created, and also said it's very possible we could get very specific information about who created these accounts to dupe my listeners into donating to some lazy person who sits on Twitter and makes sock accounts to make it look like they're doing something for a living, but they're not. Totally will press charges if we can nail down who did this, because it is a slap in the face to alibiers who are generous and want to donate only to be duped by somebody. Now, if you ever want to donate, my link tree is in the description of all of my accounts. Those are the official links. If you have questions, you can inbox me. I will verify that that's where you are to go. But if it's not on my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, website, don't follow any links away from there. And just to be safe. So hopefully this will get resolved soon. All right. So music fact of the day real quick. I had a fangirl moment the other day because Nancy Sinatra followed my Twitter account. I love Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking. I've sung that karaoke. I can't even tell you how many times. And some of my fondest memories as a kid are with my pop, my grandfather, whose favorite singer was Frank Sinatra, just dancing in his living room. I remember being as young as 3 and like standing on his feet and him just dancing. He was such a great guy. My grandpa was my buddy. And so I wanted to do a music fact about Nancy Sinatra today. In the song, The Boots Are Made for Walking, the meaning of this is the boots are made for walking out on no good, cheating men. And they're good also for walking on their hearts before you head out the door. The track appeared on Nancy's 1966 album Boots. It was a follow-up to her popular tune, So Long Babe, but These Boots Are Made for Walking did hit #1 as it should. Such a catchy tune. Love that song. Love Nancy Sinatra. All right, so we're going to just hop real quick over to Carlee Russell. Her tweets may give some insight into her frame of mind in the weeks before she called 911 and then was ultimately reported missing. On June 18th, she tweeted out, "You think you have a bond with someone until they show you never did." July 8th, she tweeted, "My job is really starting to get on my dang nerves." And then she tweeted later, "Everyone wants to feel wanted." July 10th, "I always say one thing I won't do is stay with someone who cheated on me. Like you went and had sex with someone else and think it'll be sweet one day. Heck no." The day before the incident happened, July 12th, the day before this all happened, "People are such creeps. Like this man stared at me while sitting in his car for like 10 minutes. The day that all this went down, today was a great day. God looking out, I'm telling you." And then she also tweeted, "Someone tells you I love you and don't got a reason." And then she put, "Yeah, I want a family now." And it had the crying face on that one. She had also previously tweeted indicating maybe she had been cheated on. Now, her boyfriend, who had posted on social media begging for any information for her, he seemed very genuine, very caring. Now his social media has been wiped clean of Carlee. No indication whatsoever they ever were a thing. It seems like he is washing his hands of her. Yesterday, the police chief said they've not been given access to Carlee for a follow-up interview, saying the family stated to us right now in her mental state because of trauma, she is not ready to talk. That's what we've been told. The manager of the spa that she works at told Good Morning America that they want to know if the $102 in cash that was found in her sock after she returned home came from their register. Alabama attorney Eric Gooster said he expects Carlee will be charged with filing a police report, but likely police are waiting to complete their investigation first. Now, I looked it up. Filing a false police report in Alabama is a Class A misdemeanor with a penalty of up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $6,000. So we'll keep on top of this for you. You know, they spent a lot of man hours looking for her when everybody thought something had happened. And look, they haven't officially said that it hasn't, although they said everything but yesterday. But I do anticipate maybe some charges are going to be filed at some point in this case if it's officially deemed to have been a hoax. Rex Heuermann, this case, man, every hour we're getting little bitty tidbits of information out there. So I'm just constantly trolling along looking for new things to share with you. This case is kind of what everybody in the true crime world's talking about. Serial killers tend to draw a lot of attention. It's the horror of it. It's just these poor women, what they endured. And then the monster that allegedly is Rex Heuermann. Now, they've just said today, this is not from an official statement, but you have sources, and I'll always report when an official news outlet puts something out there. When they're a verified news outlet, investigators believe at least one of Rex's victims was killed inside his home, according to a law enforcement source who told CBS News. Multiple sources also confirmed this to News 12 Long Island, except they have heard one or more. Now, we talked yesterday about this familiar kind of serial killer stomping ground where they go back to where they're comfortable. It would be very interesting. And then we heard from that woman yesterday who had been out on the date with Rex at the seafood restaurant. He asked her to come back to his house and she said no. So very interesting little tidbit there. Prosecutors have said that Rex was keeping really close tabs on the investigation, searched more than 200 times for information on what was happening in the investigation. We know yesterday that Alex from News Nation, who is on scene there at Rex's house, posted that they were lining up these police vehicles in front of his house, kind of obstructing the view. And I think maybe I know one of the reasons why. That's because the Daily Mail posted a picture showing a very close up of a partial list of evidence that had been collected from Rex's home. Those included a torn man's shirt with a stain found in the basement. It also said keys and handcuff keys on a shelf under the workbench in the workshop. There was also something written about a rope in a vault and ropes in the shop. Investigators expect to be working in the home at least until the weekend, but say it could be longer due to the number of items that they're going through. Investigators are also expanding their search. They're investigating in 4 states: New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Nevada. As far as this Chevy Avalanche, Rex sold the truck to his brother who lives here in South Carolina in Chester. It's maybe about an hour 20 drive from me. His brother had been driving that car. Neighbors say that his brother Craig filled the bed of the truck with wood and other items to board up his property. It was seized by the FBI and taken back to Long Island, where it arrived there yesterday. A newer Avalanche was seized from Rex's home in New York also. And now a word from our sponsor of the week, EasyCanvasPrints.com. Canvas prints make the perfect decor for any home. They're the perfect way to make your best memories last a lifetime. Are you looking to turn cherished memories into stunning home decor? Easy Canvas Prints is the perfect way to transform your favorite pictures into beautiful masterpieces. With Easy Canvas Prints, you can bring your memories to life, adding a touch of elegance and personalization to any space. Whether it's a family portrait, a breathtaking landscape, or a candid moment captured in time, Canvas Prints will make your walls come alive. Ordering your custom canvas print is a breeze. All you do is visit EasyCanvasPrints.com and upload your favorite photo. You can customize the size, borders, and even a custom wooden or metallic frame to create a unique piece of art. Don't wait to elevate your home or office decor with a custom canvas print today. Visit EasyCanvasPrints.com/prettylies for a special offer for my listeners. Get unlimited 16x20 canvas prints for only $14.99 each. Again, that's EasyCanvasPrints.com/prettylies. Now, the Chester News and Reporter obtained the search warrant in relation to the property owned in South Carolina by Rex and his brother. I'm going to read this for you. It's a little lengthy, but I think it's interesting. As far as I've heard, they have not been on Craig's property. If they have, it hasn't gotten out yet. But this is what the search warrant said, according to Chester News and Reporter. You can find them on Facebook. Could not find a Twitter account for them. It says the News and Reporter has obtained a search warrant that was executed in relation to property owned in Chester County by accused New York serial killer Rex Heuermann. The warrant listed a dark green 2002 Chevy Avalanche as a person, place, or thing to be searched. The truck is registered to Rex's brother, Craig Heuermann, of Rippling Brook Drive, and was subsequently removed from the property. The warrant states that the truck is believed to have contraband, evidence, or instrumentalities regarding the charge of murder in the first and second degree in New York. The vehicle, once obtained, was to be transported to Suffolk County, New York, and searched forensically. Authorities began surveillance of Craig's location at 10:50 p.m. on July 13th. This is just shortly after Rex was arrested in New York. And the warrant said that authorities knew the vehicle was present at the location, with state and federal authorities aiding in the Chester County Sheriff's Office in taking custody of it. Under property sought on the warrant, authorities put a lengthy list of items, many of which are listed as trophies, which are personal items belonging to murder victims. That was to include their phones, article of clothing, jewelry, identification, notebooks, ledgers, Bibles, personal effects, and or photographs or recordings depicting the victims. Also sought were forensic and or trace evidence, including DNA obtainable through fingernails, toenails, animal hair or fur, human hair and human skin fibers, bodily fluids, as well as any latent fingerprints and palm prints. These things can be found on furniture, mattresses, carpets, rugs, flooring, animal cages, crates, litters, playpens, beds, towers, steps, or clothing. Electronic devices or computers in all their forms are listed on the warrant, along with any records, whether they be physical or electronic in nature. Other property sought is any documents relating to the recent occupation, renting, purchasing, any known items utilized in the designated offenses. This could include mail, bills, or other similar situated documents. Broadly, the warrant also mentions any of the known items involved in the commission of the designated offenses, including burlap. The remains of at least one of Rex's victims, as we know, was wrapped in burlap. Camouflage burlap fabric, jute-like fabric, hunting blinds, restraints, belts, textile yarns, polyester fibers, cotton fibers, or any variety of tape. Other trophy items are listed separately, including condoms, cut distal ends of black leather belts, devices utilized to stamp letters onto leather goods, knives, scissors, cutting implements, and, very specific here, Bounty paper towels, specifically from the Bounty Modern Print Collection. Firearms, magazines, cases, ammunition, bullet fragments, and shell casings were listed, as were locked rooms, storage areas, vaults, cabinets, safes, closets, containers, including strong boxes, desks, drawers, suitcases, briefcases, boxes, hidden compartments, or other such enclosures where items can be kept or hidden. The warrant for that was signed on Friday. So I'm not sure if they've actually searched the property itself or the residences. Rex owns property there. He owns 4 lots. We talked about it yesterday. I feel certain that they've gotten on that property at this point, but maybe we just haven't heard. It was revealed by the district attorney that the victims were wrapped in camouflage burlap, which is often used in duck hunting, which Rex did. The Daily Mail found Rex's brother Craig on Tuesday. He was seen getting into a black vehicle driven by another man. The Suffolk County DA told CNN they're confident they will be charging Rex with Maureen's murder. They're reaching out to women who are jailed in New Jersey who were contacted by Rex for meetups but did not go. They're showing photos of Rex to see if anyone happened to have had him as a client in the past. So far, 2 women said they talked to him over the phone but did not meet up with him. They're also looking into any connection with Rex and the Eastbound Strangler, where 4 female victims were killed by strangling in Egg Harbor Township. This is in, I believe, near Atlantic City. This case is older than the Gilgo Beach murders. It happened over 15 years ago. In that case, 3 of the bodies were placed in a cluster about 50 to 60 feet of each other. Their bodies were posed in a ditch, and New Jersey criminal profiler John Kelly said this is the work of a sophisticated killer. Another woman's body was found directly behind a hotel. Maureen's sister, whose name is Melissa, said she doesn't think the killings are related, saying nothing has ever been said to her about it, and her understanding is that they're not. But a statement that was put out by the prosecutor's office saying our office continues to investigate the 2006 Black Horse Pike homicides as we do all unsolved matters, and we follow all leads. Since this remains an open investigation, we cannot comment on the questions you asked due to its potential compromise to the investigation. We cannot comment specifically about the Gilgo Beach murder case or any suspects in that case as we are not involved. Although authorities originally did not believe one killer was linked to all 10 sets of remains found along Gilgo Beach, 10 or 11 actually, they did acknowledge on CBS News that the close proximity between some of the bodies pointed to a potential serial killer. The county commissioner, Rodney Harrison, talked to Fox 5 and said since the case had went to a grand jury, they were worried about leaks, and that weighed in on their decision to go ahead and arrest Rex. The strategy was to catch him by his workplace and take him on an hour-and-a-half long ride to see if he would talk and give up anything about his role in the investigation. But as soon as they informed him he'd be placed under arrest, they put him inside the vehicle, read him his Miranda rights, and he asked for a lawyer. That was the end of the conversation. He said Rex's wife, Asa, was shocked when she was told he had been arrested. He said, when we told the wife, she was shocked and embarrassed. But there was a point where we showed her certain pictures and she said, okay, it is what it is. Rex and Asa had been married for 27 years. They got married in April of 1996 before she filed for divorce just this week. Rex had permits for 92 handguns. More than 200 firearms were removed from the residence. New York law does not require permits for long guns, and a lot of those were carried out. At the time of his arrest, police had a team waiting near his residence to execute a search warrant. They did not want anybody tipped off where potential evidence could have been destroyed or hidden. People say Rex was rarely seen with his wife in public. A manager at a grocery store said that Rex never came with her when she would grocery shop, and Asa often looked depressed when she came in and would pay in food stamps when she bought the groceries. Investigators don't think that Rex's wife and children knew anything about what was going on, but they're still investigating all avenues as of right now. Now, remember, her DNA was a key link between Rex and the victims when her hair was found on the victims' bodies. Investigators believe this was transferred from items used in the killings being brought from inside their home, or at this point, maybe we find out they were killed in the home and that's how those hairs got on there. Anything's possible right now. She was out of town when Melissa, Amber, and Megan were killed. Alex Capriello from News Nation is on scene and went to where the bodies of the victims were found. He noticed that from the shore, it's possible Rex could have seen the beach with binoculars from his home in Massapequa. His house was less than 6 miles from where the victims were found. Also, it would have been very easy for Rex to travel by boat from near his home to the location where the bodies were found. He was known to be a duck hunter, and he had a boat that he shared with a friend of his. The channel cuts across the South Oyster Bay from Amityville and runs straight to the backside of Gilgo Beach, where there's a sandy bank about 50 yards from where police found one of the victims' remains. Fox News Digital made the trip by boat yesterday, and it took 5 minutes to get from the north end of Oyster Bay to the south, and it took 5 to 10 additional minutes in those no-wake zones. A local duck hunter told Fox News Digital that a small flat-bottom boat would be the perfect way to approach from behind, and that the camouflage burlap is the best option for hunters on the water there. A small duck boat could travel even quicker without having to stick to the channels, which cut through extremely shallow sections in the bay. He says you pull right up and you're good. Nobody's going to see you, especially at night if you're familiar with it. Rex knew the area. The man said he knew the area. He knew the spot. This is where his dad took him. Also, Rex worked at Jones Beach as a seasonal employee in the summer of 1981, as well as from March 1982 to October of 1984. That's 5 miles to the west of Gilgo Beach. So you see, he's very, very familiar with this area. He probably knows it's not a place where people visit often. So they're just really starting to connect the dots of him being very familiar with where these victims' bodies were found. Also, Alex from News Nation has learned a little bit about what's happening with Rex in jail. He's in an isolated cell under surveillance, video surveillance, 24 hours a day with 2 officers watching him at all times. Whenever he is transported, they halt all other inmate operations in case there are people in there, and they said such as pimps who may know him. He is eating normally. He has no extreme change in behavior, and he is on self-harm watch. He will be reevaluated by their mental health staff to see if he has any self-harm tendencies. He said Rex seems comfortable in his cell and told staff that he would be extremely compliant with them. He's had no visitors since his arrest. He is allowed 2 phone calls a day, but it's unknown if he has called anyone. A retired fireman who lives on a street says actually a lot of Rex's neighbors are police officers and firemen. Investigators are looking into any link between Rex and the disappearance of 18-year-old Aaliyah Bell from Rock Hill, South Carolina. She disappeared 2 days before Thanksgiving in 2014 after leaving her uncle's home. The property that Rex owns is about 20 miles away from where she went missing. Rock Hill Police Lieutenant Michael Chavis said, "Our investigators have been reviewing any information to see if there's a correlation between the disappearance of Aaliyah Bell and Rex Heuermann. So far, there is no indication that leads us to identify Rex as a suspect in this case. We will continue to investigate her disappearance and follow up on all tips and leads." Look, y'all, in any state he has set foot in, they're going to be looking hard at these cold, unsolved cases because this guy, I think we will never know an actual number, but I can probably guarantee you it's not going to be 4. It's going to be way, way higher than that. I think he's done this a very long time. Very crazy stuff, y'all. It's a crazy world that we live in. And anyways, that's kind of the latest of what's happened today. I will maybe be back tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. It just depends on how my day goes. If anything big happens in this case, I'll definitely bring it to you. So hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you soon.